Yeah, what it do? You already know what time it is. It's your boy G Black, A.K.A. Garvey, T.Y.S podcast, and I got a special guest in the crib today. She goes by the name of Pascalli. Did I say that right?
You did. Hey, everybody. How are you guys?
How you doing? First and foremost, thank you very much for joining the T.Y.S Tell Your Story podcast, and for everyone that's listening, she's about to tell her story. How are you doing? How are you coping with the whole coronavirus pandemic that's happening?
Well, I'm doing good. I guess I'm just like everybody else. We're just taking it one day at a time and,
Mm-hmm.
trying to stay active and just in just staying safe during this time. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm
understood.
doing. Yeah,
Understood. And so you're in Miami. I understand.
I am.
Okay. What brought you to? Have you been here? Have you been here for the duration of your maybe since you've been an adolescent, or is it someplace you just recently moved to?
Well, I was actually born in Miami. So I
Oh,
was
you was born in Miami.
Yeah, I was born in Miami, and I've been in Miami ever since was in university.
Okay.
So it's been a few years, obviously, and yeah.
Okay. So you like it in Miami? I moved here too myself. I live on South Beach actually.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when I first moved, like I lived in South Beach,
Okay.
right, actually, like literally on the beach, like at the Sagamore.
Okay.
So yeah.
I know
So
where that's at.
yeah. So like I was there first, and then like I was down by the Venetian and had a fun
Mm.
time there. And yeah, so I've been here like straight through.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. And what are your business ventures? What's going on right now? Because besides music, I always like to highlight when an artist is an entrepreneur in other areas, such as like real estate or anything like that. What do you? Are you? I heard you're a businesswoman. How so is that?
Well, some rumors are true. Um, well, so I'm the founder and the CEO of Mogul Movements Worldwide, which is
Okay.
our label. And then the subsidiary of that is Mogul Beats, which is our music production company.
Okay.
And besides entertainment and music and stuff like that, I do dabble in real estate. I'm currently working on 2 real estate projects. One I
Okay.
can't speak about as of yet.
Hmm.
Another one is called Drake's Landing, which is in the British Virgin Islands.
Okay.
It is a 5-star resort. We have 95 marina dock slips, including
Wow.
60 ocean view condos,
Hmm.
3 restaurants, bars, shops, you name
Wow.
it.
Wow.
So, between entertainment and real
Mm.
estate and everything to do with mogul movements, I'm very busy.
I can see that. Who are your partners in the movie? Anybody did you like to mention that's partnering with you?
Yeah, of course. I'm so dancehall legend and icon
Okay.
Red Rat. He is one of my partners. He's my partner for everything movements.
Okay.
And then I do have a few other partners for the real estate, projects that we work on.
Okay, shout outs to Red Rat. Is that, and I understand that's also, are you y'all, is that your counterpart also?
It is.
Okay, okay. Shout out to him, big up to him. Definitely a fan of his music from a long time ago. Um, and what have y'all collaborated actually? Do you have any collaborations? Any new collaborations or anything that y'all? I know y'all guys got Quarantine Rhythm. Any other collaborations?
Right. We have a lot.
Hmm.
So we actually did a song called Hot that was
Okay.
recorded in Costa Rica. The video for that was recorded up
Okay.
there.
I'm Costa Rican, by the way. That's where I'm from.
Oh yeah, Pura
Yeah.
Vida.
Bueno, pura vida. Costa Rican and Panamanian, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, so we did that. And then of course we have another song that's actually coming out. It's called Supersonic.
Okay.
So that'll be out like in the next
Hold
week.
on. Supersonic?
Yeah, Supersonic.
You know what? You're bringing me now. This is where I'm going to reveal my age because you're bringing me flashbacks with I think it was JJ Fad, like around the Salt and Pepper era. They had a song called Supersonic.
That was before my time.
Oh my God. They're going to calculate my age now. But yeah, the Supersonic. Wow. And what is that song about?
It's just very flirty. Like it's just very, it's pretty much saying like, yo, like I'm so good, like I got that supersonic. Like,
Okay,
you know
excuse
what I
me.
mean?
All
Like,
right, all right.
you figure it out. But
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
definitely,
censored in a different way. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, 100%. But like, yeah, no, I mean, definitely, like, look for the track. You can find all of our music. You can find everything to do with Red Rat at Red Rat Music across
Okay.
all platforms: Apple Music, Google Play,
Okay.
Spotify, you name it. And of course, you can find my stuff at Pascalli Global
Pascalli.
across all platforms, or just type in my name on Spotify or whatever, and you'll get all of our stuff.
I love that name, Pascalli. Where did the name derive from? Is there any kind of message behind the name? The state is it a stage name, or you were you born with that name?
Nah, so it's my name.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's my name. My mother actually named me. My father just kind of like added the Lee part. And I don't know. Like, I've kind of looked it up like once or twice, but I think it's like a combination of French, Italian, and Hebrew. And
Mm.
if you're a religious person, I'm spiritual, but if you're a religious person, and you know about the Passover, it has to do with the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Christ.
Mm.
That's what the whole the Passover, which was like the Paschal lamb. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's all
Correlated somehow.
correlated. Yeah.
Somehow. Okay, I understand you used to be, which is no surprise at all. You used to be a model, right? Or are you still modeling?
I mean, I'm still open to modeling. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if certain gigs and stuff like that come my way, like, I do still do certain things here and there. But yeah, like, I've slowed down on that, and I've just really been more focused on music.
Or music?
But if any of you guys out there want to give me an endorsement, look, I'm
Hey,
available.
she's available. She's available for that. Definitely, definitely. You and how do you feel about the crossover? That crossing over from modeling to music. What inspired that? Do you think it's something that's not as common?
I mean, it's definitely not that common. I, I work with people, like, I've done magazines. I've done
Okay.
like some shows and stuff like that, like,
Okay.
runway shows and stuff. And I've also done like several music videos. And
What music videos have you been featured in, by the way?
I did Neo's When You're Mad,
Okay.
and Damian Marley's Traffic Jam,
Okay.
Lil Wayne, Make It Rain remix. I was the
Okay.
sitting there like
Oh,
making it.
you was actually letting it rain also.
Yeah, like, I was a
Okay.
chick that was doing
Okay.
that. And yeah, like, so, and I've worked with several different people on
Mm-hmm.
different videos and stuff. And at the time, I do recall there were one or two other females that did try to cross over from modeling at the time to into music.
Okay.
And I think they did their thing. I don't know whether or not it worked out for a lot of them. I don't think that it did.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, going into music for me, I was skeptical. I was a little hesitant, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, I wonder how people are gonna take it. I wonder, are they gonna take me seriously enough, or
More
are
than
they
just sexualize you. More than just sexualizing
right?
you.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I mean, the way that I combated that was to realistically just submerge myself into the craft and into music,
Mm.
and to pretty much show people better than I could tell them. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So, and I think that's the way that I really went about gaining the respect of people in the
In
industry,
the street. Yeah.
and just overall, like, my fans and my listeners.
Is it difficult for you because, like, I've met so many females that's dating somebody that already made their stamp in the genre that they represent, like yourself, like with Red Rat, dating Red Rat, right? Is
Mhm.
it difficult for you for people to, let's say, like, focus on what you bring to the table other than who the person that you're dating, if you know what I mean?
Not really. I think because he is so established and he is who he is,
Mm.
that kind of like helps it.
Mm.
Um, I don't really have a problem with people focusing on like what I'm bringing to the table.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that really embrace the dynamic that the two of us
I
share.
think it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, like so we get that. Like we get a lot of messages. We get a lot of fan mail of people just like inboxing us and telling us like, you know, we really love how you guys, you know, operate with each other.
Chemistry,
And,
yeah.
you know, the chemistry that you have, the way that you work together and stuff like that. So nah, I didn't really go through that.
No, right. That's great because I you know, when I first heard you and I said this is tight right here. This is like it's like a little hip hop with Caribbean flavor, and you know what I mean? That's the vibe that I was getting. How you received in Jamaica, since you're from Bahamas, how you received in Jamaica with like the other artists in Jamaica?
I mean, I'm not on the ground there right now. I would hope that it's like all good. Nah, but for real, I have, you know, I've like all the artists on this project, they're all Jamaican artists. And I had an awesome time working with all of them. They've all been super embracive. When I run into people, you know, backstage at concerts or just on the road in general, they all show me love.
Okay.
The people, like when we go to Jamaica, like everybody's just like, you know, very embracive and stuff like that. So, you know, me, myself, like I haven't seen anybody or experienced anybody being indifferent in any kind of way. They're just always telling me like, you know, to keep up the good work, etc. Now, if I have haters, then I don't know.
Everybody got those. Everybody got those. Those are lonely people that don't have nothing else to do. That's
exactly.
all it is.
But
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're out there, I don't know, and I don't care, and it really doesn't make a difference in what I'm doing, regardless.
You know, sometimes haters get converted into fans.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. Yeah.
I think for the most part, it like on average, like it's human nature to want to see something.
Yeah.
Take it apart.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And as long as you just continue just doing what you're doing and you're good at what you're doing, you don't leave yourself open to be picked apart anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So eventually they will convert into fans, and even if they become a fan, they have to respect you for your hustle. They have to for what you're doing.
They're giving you free promotion anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how I look at it, or whatever. So big up all of my fans. Big up the Mafia.
Big up everybody. The haters, everybody.
my fans have they started to they named themselves the Mafia, which is like they're bigger than the Mafia.
Oh, hold on. What's the name of your fan base?
The Mafia. P-A-F-I-A.
Mafia. Okay. I'm gonna look out for them. Definitely. It's kind of like Little Kim got the Beehive, I believe. Nicki Minaj got the Barbs. It's kind of like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, the Mafia, right? Mafia.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to them. Definitely. That's tight. And I heard you working on Spanish projects. You diversifying yourself on the Spanish market. Spanish market's sizzling right now.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, you know, the first song that I did was Hot, which was shot in Costa Rica.
Okay.
And I did that song with Red Rat and a Costa Rican rapper named Toledo.
Okay.
And so, you know, ever since then, I have been working on songs that are Spanish and English and, you know, just playing around with different things and different sounds. So I will be releasing some.
Okay, I look forward to hearing it. Do you write it yourself? Are you writing the Spanish joint yourself, or you got?
I mean, it depends. Like, you know, I'll come up with different concepts and stuff like that myself. But, you know, my Spanish isn't necessarily like that great. Like, I'm not fluent. So
you do understand when somebody speaks Spanish, though, right?
Yeah, no, I understand now. I'll answer you back in English, though.
So yo puedo escribir un poquito romántico, frases románticos.
Yeah, but yeah, you can write like things, like romantic things or whatever.
Oh, you understand? Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily gonna put it in the proper context.
Understood.
I have a team that I work with and everything. And they're great. Like the Mogul Movement team is like off the hook.
Mogul Movement team. That's beautiful. That's the management team, right?
That's our management team. That's the label. That's the production. It's like
everything. Wow. Okay. And man, you know, so unfortunate. Like, how are you coping with the as far as like you know, what you know, after this thing settles down a little bit with the coronavirus and the quarantine. You know, did you have shows you had to cancel?
We had so many shows that we had to cancel. We had a Middle Eastern tour set up.
Wow.
At the beginning of the year, like in February, Marchish, And what happened was I have a friend and I have a relative that lives in China.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up one night, you know, just not able to go to sleep. And I saw the whole virus stuff on the news. But it wasn't on US news. It was like on international news. I just so happened to hit up my friend and I said, hey, I see this going on over there. Enlighten me. Let me know what's really going on. And we probably were messaging back and forth for about 3 hours. And by the time everyone else woke up, like in our team, I was like, hey, I really think we should consider canceling all of the shows. So it was an executive decision. We canceled several different shows from there. And then as time progressed, we ended up having to cancel everything because this virus literally, for me, it was like watching a black cloud just come
near, right? Come near the town, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not really feeling this thing. Like, I'm not really trying to play around with it or take any chances. So yeah, we ended up canceling like everything.
I was so naive. I didn't believe it at first. I said, that's only happening over there. That was my attitude at first. And then it just came so fast.
Well, the thing is that for me personally, the reason why I was not naive is because China is such a powerhouse at this point for business. Okay. And there's so many people that travel back and forth there for business.
Yeah.
And if you recall, even though it broke out over there prior to the new year, in February, I want to say, was when Fashion Week happened in Europe, right? Yeah. So we had Super Bowl over here, and then the following week was Fashion Week. Now with Fashion Week, you have all the top who's from every single country travels to Italy and London and all those different
back and forth, yeah.
And it's like I was watching it, like I saw it happen literally in slow motion. And I had some friends that they attended some shows like at Fashion Week, and I hit her up and I'm like, yo, do you really think that you still want to go? Like, I don't think you should go. I don't think you should go. And they're like, no, like I've already been fitted for my dresses. Like I got Altier, Versace gowns. And I'm like, well, you could probably, like, you should pass on it until next year.
Yeah.
They went over there, a group of them went over there and came back and came back with the virus. And I had said, I was like, yo.
Oh, they actually caught the virus?
Yeah. I
said
to my team, I was like, yo, Super Bowl is a breeding ground for this virus. Fashion Week is going to be a breeding ground.
Large crowds, yeah.
And so said, so done. Right after Fashion Week was when the first patient, I think the ground zero patient or patient number 0 ended up in New York.
Wow.
Apparently, if I'm correct, he was in Italy, flew Italy to the UK and flew UK to New York. And then found out that he had it and went to the hospital. And that's the reason why they had estimated that he had infected like 1,000
people. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like very Jedi when it comes to that. You know, like, no, hold up.
Wow, that's so unfortunate, isn't it? But I mean, you know, for every setback, there's things that we can appreciate. Especially people that's in the art and media or anything. It shows you a lot of things that you've been missing. You know what I mean? You get to appreciate being at home with family, kids, or your significant other. There's so many things that you took for granted, not that you realize now is so important.
No, absolutely. I mean, this time's definitely like allowed us to reconnect with friends and
definitely.
Family. You know what I mean? Like, we've been doing like Zoom calls. Like, I had a full-fledged, completely lit Zoom birthday party.
Really?
First. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I just see it as the world is just, detoxifying right now.
Yeah.
And just flushing out whatever it needs to flush out. So it's a reset. And I just hope that everyone takes it as it being a reset and just use the time wisely. Like, catch up on work that you needed to do. Catch up on reconnecting with friends, reconnecting with family.
Yeah.
Learn something. Take up a new hobby. Like, there's so many different things that you could do at home.
So many things. That's when you know when you're truly creative. When you have when you don't have as many things to work with, you know what I mean? When and whatever's in your home is what you're gonna have to utilize to see if you could develop a new hobby, like you said, or a new career out of whatever you're dabbling with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, and reconnect with your spouse, reconnect with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is the time that you're going to realize whether or not you like the person that you're with. and whether or not.
Or whether you don't like them.
Yeah, or whether you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And most importantly, you're going to realize whether or not you like yourself. You know what I mean?
That's deep right there. That's
because
deep.
You got to spend so much time right now with yourself, your own thoughts. You know what I mean? Who you have become. Do you want to continue to be this person when the world goes back to normal? Like, now is the time to dissect yourself and figure out how to become the best person that you ultimately want to be before this is over.
Yeah. A lot of people working from home. I used to always tell people for the longest time, working from home is so cool. And they didn't want to hear it. And now, you know, a lot of people are forced to kind of work from home, and they actually like it. They're loving it. They're loving it. And another thing I want to ask you, Pascalli. Being that you're from, your family's from the Bahamas, which is the land of calypso. Are there any collaborations with the calypso musicians?
We're actually the land of junkanoo.
So it's not calypso.
Not calypso, not in Bahamas. It's
not Bahamas, really.
We listen to calypso, yes, and calypso and dancehall and everything, but native to the Bahamas is called junkanoo. Junkanoo. Right.
Okay, I thought it was calypso. Okay.
Yeah, so junkanoo actually has its own carnival. What everyone else would consider to be a carnival kind of thing.
Okay.
We do it twice a year, which is, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. Everyone makes their different costumes. A lot of the costumes are made out of paper mache.
Okay.
And yeah, they have the same type of bands and the whole nine. They have different groups and stuff that compete against each other, but it's called junkanoo for the Bahamas.
Junkanoo. I was misinformed. Somebody, oh my God, I always thought they did have calypso singers there though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we listen to everything else all the other Caribbean countries do listen to. However, what is unique to the Bahamas is junkanoo.
Junkanoo, okay. Thank you very much for informing the listeners. And another thing I want to ask you, what do you feel about these times that we're living in? We're like, the 60s wasn't, we're not too far away from the 60s, 1960 something, and when there was, when they had racial tensions going on and everything. And what do you feel about what's going on now with the whole George Floyd situation? And it's crazy. It's crazy out here.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I grew up listening to certain things that my grandfather would say, about the times that he grew up, because he was born in the 1920s and he fought in the wars and stuff like that. But I never really could wrap my mind around it because I didn't grow up on this side of the world. I grew up in Switzerland, right? So I never really saw it growing up the way that it's happening now. So it's a little surreal for me to actually see what he was talking about back then play out now. And to be honest with you, I think it's so sad, and I think it is. It's ignorant and it's disgusting. It's ignorant that people can feel as if because their body produces less melanin in their system than another person, that it makes them superior. It's ignorant to feel as if because someone else's features may be rounder, broader, wider than another individual, that it makes them superior to another person.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say it's ignorant is because if people educated themselves, they would understand why different groups have different features, why different groups have different shades. It's all based in our DNA, and it's all for a reason.
Okay.
What a lot of people don't understand is that we're all one people. And We're the human race. It doesn't matter if you're black, blue, white, purple, green. We're one species, which is the human race. Now, we all look different. We all come in different shapes and different colors. But why is that? It is because where your group of individuals may have come from and may have resided initially was different than another. So all of those individuals, Caribbean people, African people, South American people, we all lived close to the equator. The equator is the hottest point of the world. What happens is when you go into anything heat related, your pores open up. Your features widen because it makes it more difficult to breathe. If you've never been inside of a sauna, you'll understand that. When you go to the sauna, what happens? You have to take deeper breaths. Everything on you expands, right? Your skin is going to be shinier because your body releases more oils. That's why like our faces are so shiny all the time. You know,
and the nasal expansion has to be that way for your nose and everything. Yeah,
it has to be that way in order for you to be able to breathe because you're heat, right?
Definitely.
The further you travel away from the equator, it gets colder. And
colder. Yep. Netherlands, the Balkans, Europe, and those areas. Yeah.
Exactly. Canada.
Caucasus Mountains. Yeah.
Exactly. All those different places, north and south, right? Yep. There's South Pole and North Pole. As you go closer to the cold, what happens? Your pores get smaller. Your nose gets smaller. You no longer have to take such deep breaths. Over decades, over centuries, our bodies have changed and developed in a way to where it works for wherever it is that we live.
Yeah.
It's a protective thing. And if people educated themselves, if people really got deep, instead of constantly just scratching the surface of things, then your outlook on life, your outlook on people would be completely different. Completely different.
You heard what you just said, Pascalli? Not to cut you off. You heard that pivotal thing that you just said right there. I once upon a time I was speaking about this to a high school principal. I'm like, especially in the United States where there's always, for some reason, the most tension when it comes to black and white. I'm like, what do you think about, besides teaching the kid, you know, this place is made up of a lot of immigrants from Jamaica, Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, Dominican Republic, everywhere. So how about teaching the kids about one another instead of just teaching them about your history or the Abraham Lincoln and stuff like that?
I think that they should, because like, for instance, I grew up in Switzerland. In my class, there was a child, like every single child was from a different place. Okay? I was the only kid that came from this side of the world. The only, right? I had a kid in my class that was from France. I had one from Italy. I had a friend from Macedonia. There were two relatives in my class.
Was this high school or college?
This was actually middle school and elementary school.
Okay.
And I had kids from Czechoslovakia, and I could go on, right? But what that taught us all was to learn from each other and to learn different cultures. I may not know everything about every single culture, but I could tell you a little bit about everyone, right? And that's because when we went to school, we had to learn about everybody else. When I was outside, when I was playing and we went to each other's homes because it was so cold in Switzerland, we would go inside to the person's house. We learned about their culture. We picked up words from their languages. We learned about their customs. And that's what made me personally so open-minded towards everybody. And I think if we applied that over here,
it helps.
Yeah, it helps because you'll realize that it's nothing necessarily wrong with another person. They just do things just a little bit differently. You know what I mean? And when you open yourself up and you learn about things, it removes the fear. And that's what
fear of not understanding, of not knowing the other person.
Exactly. That's really what it boils down to, is that a lot of people are scared.
Yeah.
Scared of another person or something quote unquote foreign. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't just teach them the negatives. Teach them we could discuss the positive things. In every country, in every nationality, ethnicity, there's negative and positive things that occurred.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, we all have our bad apples with everything. You have yours in your family.
Yeah.
You have yours in your city, you have yours in your country, but that doesn't mean that everybody's bad.
When you speak about Africans, don't just talk about slavery. It's that, a lot of things happen in Africa, kings and queens. What they don't like to discuss that in school. It's just slavery, and that's it. Shackles and slavery.
Right. See, like I can't speak too much on what they teach over here in history and stuff like that because I didn't experience it.
I did. I definitely went to school over here, so that's all. That's just about what they teach over here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that that's like super wrong because, like you said, there are so many other things that need to be highlighted. That should be highlighted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like Massa Musa was one of the richest men in history.
Imagine with richest black men. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they had government set up. They had like all sorts of different things like set up. The Europeans ventured to the Asian countries, to India, to China. They ventured to Africa to go and see what they had, to go and buy silks, to go and buy various different products to bring it back to Europe. You understand what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
then they took those customs and then they turned them into what they turned them into for themselves. When they ventured and they saw the pharaohs and they saw the Africans worshiping different gods and goddesses for various different things, what did the Romans do? They went and they renamed them in Italian and in Latin. You know what I mean? And so the Egyptians had Horus, had Baseth, had all Sekhmet, had all these different gods. And then the Romans came and then they named them, Athena.
Their gods, yeah.
And all of this different stuff. They just took it and made it their own.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's time for like Black people in general to take back their power and to take back who they are. And they forgot like who they are, and it's not their fault. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. It's not our fault, like at all whatsoever. It's just that it's been concealed, and you cannot open up yourself back to it unless you go and look for it. So read, search for it, educate yourselves. You know what I mean?
Don't get distracted by technology and media and stuff like that. I'm a spiritual person such as yourself, and I feel like a lot of us human beings, we're not tapping into our natural gifts. You know what I mean? Because we're distracted by technology and controversy.
I'll cut you on that.
Okay.
It's not a matter of getting distracted by technology. It's a matter of using technology for something positive.
Okay.
I'll
go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So get off of social media. If you're spending 8 hours on social media, narrow it down to 4.
Okay.
And spend the other 4 researching something that actually can advance you in some which way, shape,
yeah, because we live in modern times where it still can be utilized and at a faster rate, if anything. But it's what you're using it for, basically. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And stop and like venture out. When everything opens back up, spin the globe, pick a place, stick a pin, start traveling, get to know different places, open your minds up to more things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So instead of buying like 1,000 pair of Nikes or whatever it may be, or having to have the new iPhone, take that $1,000 from the new iPhone and go and book yourself a ticket with you and a friend for the same exact money and go and have
some expensive Jordans or anything like that.
Yeah, and have yourself a completely new experience because it will open your mind. And then when your mind is open, guess what you're going to do? You're going to pass it on to your children.
You know what's so funny about you saying that, Pascalli? Every time I jump on a plane, I mean, no offense, I got all kind of friends in my life, but all I see is a lot of certain kind of people when I jump on the plane. I'm like, where are the brothers and sisters at? Where the brothers from like Miami, Atlanta? Where everybody else is at? Well, I don't see more of my people traveling on the plane, going to different places to get it, getting to learn different cultures and everything like that. Yeah, no,
I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. I think it just boils down to just complacency and fear. People don't want to venture out because don't forget, like they have Black people in a place of fear of if we leave our environment in which we're safe in, what's going to happen to us if we venture out?
It might even be more racist because we're so used to United States racism that we think we go somewhere else, it might be worse. You're already thinking about all those things already before
Right.
you travel. Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not going to happen. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as a kid going into the Alps to go skiing and snowboarding, people would look at my mom, because my mom's very fair skinned, and then they would look at me like, you know, this Black girl that she had, and they would be like, and they would just stare. You know what I mean? Sometimes it happened on a few.
It happens.
It didn't happen like all that much, but it did happen on a few occasions.
Okay.
So I say that to say, if it happens, it happens. But don't let that stop you from still going out there and exploring the world and learning.
You can't. You know, I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts also. And I used to go back and tell a lot of brothers in the hood, I'm like, you know, you spend like $200 on the classical Jordans and all. And, you know, a lot of the biggest fears, as you said it earlier, was like, you know, I can't afford that kind of trip and this and that. And I'm like, you know, there's a such thing that they even call hostels. You got hostels where people, well, I don't know, I wouldn't recommend that now, but but you know, there's things called hostels where Europeans go, and they spend mostly a lot of money on their airfare, more so than where they're going to stay at when they go to another country, because they stay in hostels. And they're like, what the hell is a hostel? And the only time they found out about hostels when the movie Hostel itself came out. And like, you know, there's so much things. There's so many ways to budget your money and what you spend on big rope chains and all this stuff, and trying to keep up with the Joneses. You could go other places, and you could meet some interesting people. Definitely. Absolutely. If you do music, right? Let's say if you're independent and you do music, you know, you collaborate with other artists in other countries. You might find a hit song somewhere in between.
Yep.
Isn't that so?
I totally agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've collaborated with tons of people from tons of different places.
Mm-hmm. Where else have you been to Dubai? I think I've heard some mention of it.
I've been to Dubai. I actually I produced a show for Tempo, which is like the Caribbean MTV station, where I did a countdown, and I took the Caribbean with me to Dubai, and I did my countdown over there. And I pretty much, like, you know, this was before Dubai was popping and everybody was, you know, going and stuff. And the whole concept of my segment was to show people what Dubai was all about, and all the cool things that you could do, and the Dubai Mall, and the aquarium inside the mall, and the ice ring, and, you know, the sand dunes and everything. So it was a pretty cool experience.
They treated you well over there? Every artist I know go to Dubai for some reason.
Absolutely. Like they absolutely like love you over there. Like yeah.
Isn't that something you get so much more appreciated for what you do in many other countries? For like, whether it's hip hop, what would you consider your genre? Dancehall or hip hop, pop?
I mean, I do a lot of you know, dancehall. So it's like island pop and dancehall and pop music. So I dibble and dabble between that, but we do produce for various different genres, from hip hop to trap to dancehall to everything.
Any hip hop artist collaborations besides featuring in music videos? Any, like, as far as being a vocalist?
I actually did a song with Sean J from Field Mob.
From Field Mob, okay.
Yeah, so we have a really, really dope song together. So yeah. Okay,
and we could. When is that coming out?
I'm not sure. Like, right now, everything is kind of like on pause. We're trying to see how this is gonna work out.
Yeah, because of the pandemic thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a really dope song though.
So have you been just like sending a lot of sessions back and forth, and you know, a lot of sessions and Pro Tools sessions, and just collaborating that kind of way?
Well, yeah, that's how we did the entire quarantine rhythm. Was just sending sessions back and forth and doing everything remotely, and, you know, phone calls and, you know, that kind of thing. I think for right now, that's pretty much how everyone has to work for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Definitely. And okay, so you know, man, you know, it's been a pleasure. Anything else you like to leave the people with a final note or anything of like something that they can look forward to?
I don't know, just everybody just make sure to follow me, find me on all the social media.
Where can they find you at exactly, for the people that just don't pay attention?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can go to my website, and it's at Pascalli Global. So
Okay.
it's Pascalli.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty much find me across everything: Spotify, Apple Play, Google Music, you name
You
it.
just gotta look for the pretty girl. That's all.
Right.
Okay. Definitely. I see a plaque behind you, and I'm being nosy right now. What is that? Is that Spotify streams? Is that?
Yeah, that's actually it's actually the plaque that I got for co-writing a song called Higher,
Okay.
a song for Red Rat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got over 20, well now it's 21 million streams in
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's beautiful. It's always important acknowledge those accolades, and Spotify has been a great tool for artists, and we're going to continue to see a lot of progress with the streaming platforms for artists. And definitely. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Pascalli. Queen, shall I call you queen or princess? I think you're a queen.
You call me whatever you want to call me.
Queen. I'm going to call you Queen Pascalli. Is that okay?
Sounds like a plan.
That's okay. We're going to stay in touch. I got some stuff myself in the works and stuff between Costa Rica, Panama, and then here in Miami. I got some stuff as far as promoting some shows and some production with a production team that I'm working with. And I'm going to shoot it to your team, to your management team, and see what y'all guys think.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Sounds good.
Definitely. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to T.Y.S podcast. We signing out with Queen Pascalli. Your boy G Black, Garvey Black. You know what it is. Peace.